And right now at 11 o'clock as we come on the air, folks, we've got some loud thunderstorms rumbling around Kentuckiana. In fact, so loud they're shaking our building here at 6 and Chestnut tonight. The rain has been steady since this afternoon, but now the new twist here on the night team is we are now following the overnight thunderstorms now into Kentuckiana. Well, look at the lightning. While you sleep, it could get pretty loud as we are hearing them pretty good here in downtown Louisville. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the night team. I'm Doug Proffitt. Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine is updating the track and the timing of the storm. So, Ben, we're still in the 30s for temperature. How come we are hearing thunder and seeing lightning with a temperature like this?
Yeah, rare wintertime, early February thunderstorms in the 30s, as you mentioned. What we have is warm air up above this cold air producing these thunderstorms. So they're not based at the surface, so they're not expected to be severe here around Louisville. Now, later on tonight, going to have to watch during the overnight hours south of the Bluegrass and Western Kentucky parkways for the potential of a few severe thunderstorms that could pack some gusty, possibly damaging winds and some hail. There is a severe thunderstorm warning just off to the west of Bowling Green right now that's tracking to the east. But notice the cold temperatures, 30s and 40s. We zoom in, very heavy rainfall coming down over Louisville right now, and just off to the north in parts of Clark County around Charlestown and down to the southeast, Mount Washington, Taylorsville, lots of lightning strikes there, dozens of lightning strikes and more heavy rain as we move down here into Fort Knox, into Radcliffe, into Hardin County. So scattered thunderstorms will continue over the next several hours and before sunrise. And we're starting to get a surge of warm air overnight after midnight. See these 60s right here? So where we have the 60s, Elizabethtown, Bardstown south. So again, south of the parkways, that's the best chance for a few of these severe thunderstorms overnight. And then around sunrise, around 8 o'clock, that activity moving off to the east. It looks like we'll have a decent amount of dry time tomorrow and maybe even some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. But it turns cooler as the cold front moves off to the southeast. So we got a warm front overnight, so warmest during the overnight hours, and a little bit cooler for tomorrow afternoon. Again, it is soggy and saturated out there with lightning and thunder and those temperatures in the upper 30s. We've got more showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for part of your weekend. We'll have a lot more on that as well coming up.
All right, Ben, thank you. What a forecast. It's one you got to take notes on to follow. And we're going to join Ben again right here in just 10 minutes. So stay with us and we'll pass on some more news for you right now. News since 6 o'clock. It could save homeowners in Indiana thousands of dollars, but a property tax cut would also cost community services millions of dollars. The tax cut is currently being considered in Indianapolis, and we have reaction to it for you on the night team. For homes valued at more than $125,000, the deduction would be 60% of the home's assessed value. For some places, that would cut property taxes in half. While it's good news for homeowners, some local fire departments and other county services that rely on taxes would be in trouble. WHAS11 Night Team's Clarice Shadley and photojournalist Levi Hammer explore how it could take effect in southern Indiana.
When I hear of less taxes,
a business owner who lives where he grows,
it automatically perks my ear up.
Spending less while fermenting his crop at Turtle Run Winery in Harrison County isn't too bad of a deal for Jim Pfeiffer.
Anytime you can cut expenses, especially fixed expenses, that sounds great.
An Indiana Senate bill would do just this, cutting the property tax in some cases by half. For instance, with a median home sold in Harrison County for $271,900 with a rate of 1.25%, you'd go from paying $2,836.25 to $1,359.50 in property taxes. This is about 48% less in taxes.
We pay property taxes, business taxes, excise taxes. We pay a lot of taxes.
So how much of your budget is from property taxes, local property taxes?
Probably 90% of our budget is from property taxes.
The Indiana Legislative Services Agency estimates communities and schools would lose more than $1 billion in the first year. Clark County would lose $25,687,000 in 2026. Tax money that goes right to fire departments.
10% cut to our budget, it would be devastating.
Departments rely on the steady stream of tax dollars to make improvements to equipment. So for now, until a decision is made on the bill,
we will continue responding to calls as we have always done.
While the community values their service.
But at the same time, we want to make sure that our government is able to operate efficiently and provide the services that our community needs.
A bill with one intent and purpose could also trigger a much different outcome for others. In southern Indiana, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
And according to reporting from our sister station in Indianapolis, one way local units could make up for lost revenue would be to raise local income taxes. Lowering property taxes was a top priority for the new Republican Governor Mike Braun during his campaign. Hundreds of people protesting at the Indiana State Capitol today, and also they were protesting in smaller groups outside the Kentucky Capitol in Frankfort, joining in a nationwide protest against what they say is a rising threat of fascism. Supporters of the movement voiced their concerns over Donald Trump's recent executive orders, including banning transgender people from women's sports and pardoning January 6 rioters and more. New tonight, more on a story that WHAS 11 News first broke last night here on the Night Team. Tonight, the chairman of the Jefferson County School Board is responding to Kentucky Republicans who say the search for a new JCPS superintendent has ignored the South End and local business leaders. The letter was signed by Louisville's GOP delegation in Frankfort, concerned that the search committee is comprised of mostly Democrats with no one representing South Louisville. Corey Scholl's response also comes after Senate President Robert Stivers told our Isaiah Kim Martinez in an interview yesterday that if JCPS doesn't improve, they will look at possibilities of control or a breakup of JCPS. In his letter tonight to the lawmakers, Corey Scholl saying the search process has been open, transparent, and inclusive, providing opportunities for engagement from all individuals and groups, regardless of political affiliation. Please be reminded that Jefferson County Public Schools is a nonpartisan institution. The integrity of this process depends on factual dialogue, not misinformation. He then lists 9 upcoming public meetings for input on the JCPS superintendent search. Well, the flu isn't letting up, widening its grip and spreading all over Kentuckiana. Hardin County Schools became the latest today to head to NTI classes at home the rest of the week. Now, here's the latest on the list, too. We're updating our map. Take a look. You'll see Taylor, Oldham, LaRue, and Marion County Schools of Kentucky moving to NTI. Meantime, Bullitt and Spencer County Schools are off the rest of the week. No school, too many staff and students just too sick to even log on. At Lincoln Trail Elementary School, nearly 100 kids are out sick with flu-like symptoms. Hardin County Schools District spokesperson John Wright says the sickness spreads to the teachers and the bus drivers are thin too.
The other day, our chief operations officer who works at central office, he drove a bus route. That's just because that's where we are.
While kids are out, janitors will be deep cleaning high-touch areas. Lunches, by the way, can still be picked up at each school in Hardin County tomorrow, so kids can still be fed lunch. Now to another scare involving 82-year-old Senator Mitch McConnell. He fell again today. This photo taken by ABC News afterwards. McConnell seen in that wheelchair hours later. Reporters say he fell down the steps in the Capitol building after a confirmation hearing and was helped up by fellow senators. McConnell walked to lunch after the fall. Senators described him as being an engaged participant in that walk. After the lunch, McConnell was escorted out by several staff members, at least one of whom appeared to be clutching him for support. Now today, McConnell's longtime spokesperson Robert Stewart sent us an email saying the senator is fine and that the lingering effects of polio in his left leg will not disrupt his regular schedule of work. Late this afternoon, I talked to Louisville's Scott Jennings, close friend and advisor to McConnell and CNN political contributor, and Jefferson County Republican Chairman Don Fitzpatrick. I asked them both about McConnell's future. His seat is up in 2026. You think McConnell continues on and runs again, or he retires after this term's over?
Doug, that's the big question, and I do know a number of the people in his team quite well, and what they have told me is that he has not made a decision. He has not shared that with them, and Senator McConnell, I think, will continue to play that close to the vest for a while.
Has he confided in you, Scott? Has he told you whether he's going to run again or not?
No, we've talked about politics generally, but no, I'm waiting like everybody else to see what he wants to do this year. And of course, I trust Senator McConnell. I mean, I've known this man since I was 17 years old, and he's been a big part of my life, and I trust him.
This is McConnell's fourth fall that has been reported publicly. 2 months ago, he fell after the Senate luncheon, spraining his wrist. In March of 2023, he fell hard in a Washington, D.C. hotel and suffered a concussion. 4 months after that, he fell in Reagan National Airport while getting off a flight, but was not badly hurt. More local news. A Louisville jail employee has been arrested and charged with aiding a shooting suspect after an armed robbery that happened in January. According to court records, Kenita Freeman allegedly picked up one of the co-defendants in her black Ford Explorer after a shooting and armed robbery on January 4th. The victim in that shooting is now partially paralyzed. Louisville Metro Department of Corrections sent us a statement saying after learning of the investigation into Freeman on Friday, she was put on administrative leave until the criminal proceedings are over. The spokesperson also said that Freeman turned herself in today. She pleaded not guilty, paid a partial bond, and has been now released to home incarceration. Happening in Louisville tonight, one of the U.S. Supreme Court's veteran justices, who was also the first Latina and the third woman to serve on the high court. For nearly 16 years, Justice Sonia Sotomayor has been known for her civility and trust for the judicial process. Tonight, she received the highest honor given by the U of L Law School. WHAS11 Night Team's Alex Dieterer covered her appearance as she was asked about immigration.
Justice Brandeis, for whom the medal is named, we are so honored to bestow the 2025 Brandeis Medal to Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor.
In a downtown Louisville room filled with U of L law students and faculty, Justice Sonia Sotomayor became the 7th Supreme Court Justice honored with the school's highest honor, the Brandeis Medal, named after former Justice Louis D. Brandeis, who is from Louisville.
Justice Brandeis was known as the people's lawyer, and Justice Sonia Sotomayor is very much the people's justice.
The award was given to her by Dean of the Louis D. Brandeis School of Law, Melanie Jacobs. Dean Jacobs asked Justice Sotomayor questions from U of L students. We weren't allowed to record any of it, but when the Supreme Court Justice was asked about the heavily scrutinized topic of undocumented immigrants taking jobs from Americans, she responded, "We do have to have security checks on people who are entering the country, not an unreasonable demand. The reality is most jobs immigrants are doing are the job Americans don't want to do. In some cases, there are times when immigrants are taking jobs from Americans, but only because they proved themselves more capable and hardworking." Sotomayor now joins Supreme Court Justices Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Sandra Day O'Connor, and John Paul Stevens, among others who have been given the honor.
She brings tremendous dignity, respect, and compassion to the bench. She is a fierce defender of liberty.
The Democratic Supreme Court Justice was appointed in 2009 by former President Barack Obama when she became the first Latina and third woman to be appointed to the highest court of the land. In Louisville, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
She was confirmed to the court in August of 2009, and she is also known for her tough approach to ill-prepared attorneys, but kindness toward jurors and the attorneys who work hard to advocate for their clients. Next, the rescue over